guys, it's Sarah. Today is BookList Thursday. This is a video series that I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for the week. And since we are in the month of October, we want to talk about some scary, spooky, creepy crawly books. So this will be the first one that we are talking about. Today we are going to focus on kind of these supernatural creatures. So we got, zombies and witches and werewolves and vampires and, all sorts of kind of gross, yucky things. So I'm going to give you some recommendations on books that I have read, and then I will show you some books that I have on my TBR that I haven't read yet, but I'm interested in. So let's start out with vampires. Now, vampires obviously became very, very popular when Twilight came out. And from there, everybody wanted all the vampires all the time. And there were a lot of books coming out that had vampires in them, a lot of young adult books. However, I chose to go the route because I did love Twilight when I read it, but I decided to go the route of finding an adult vampire series to read. And okay, the one that I found that I absolutely loved, my sister recommended it to me, and I'm so happy she did because I love this series. That is the Argano Vampire series, and this is written by Lindsay Sands. I will throw a few of the books up here for you. This is a book series that I have read quite a bit of. I think I've read more than 20 books. And the woman comes out with 1 or 2 books a year, so she's kind of chucking them out. But the basic premise, it's a vampire romance series mostly, but there's also a lot of really, really good action and conflict in them as well. So it's not just romance, but the romance is spot on. They are smutty, so they are, they are adult. They are not for young children or teenagers. But the basic premise is that you follow this family of vampires called the Arganos. They originated from Canada, and you follow different members of this vampire family, and each one in the books find their life mate, which is what they're called. So it's the one person that is for you, and the vampire knows who their life mate is when they meet them. It's almost like a light bulb goes off and like, oh, this is my life mate. And sometimes it's other vampires. Sometimes they are not vampires. And then that's really awkward because you have to figure out, how am I going to convince this person to become a vampire and live with me for the rest of their lives? And they don't know who it is until they meet them. So I really like that premise. And it's different for every vampire too. So it's not like, it's not the same reasons. And, there's a certain reason this person is for you. Another thing I really like about the series is that she goes into the history of vampires and how they originated. And I thought it was fantastic and really unique. So I really like that part of the story as well. And it's explained really well too. So I just love this series. I eat them up. They're juicy. They're fun. I need to pick one up soon and kind of keep going in there so I don't get too far behind, because she won't stop writing them, but I'm not mad about it. All right, let's talk about some witches. So a book that I just recently read that I really enjoyed is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I really, really liked this book. And this is another one that is pretty heavy on a romantic relationship. That's not all, obviously, that goes into it, but it is very focused on our main character, who is a witch, and she meets a vampire. So another vampire happening here. And it's pretty taboo for witches and vampires to even be communicating more, and then falling in love is like unheard of. So everyone around them is like shocked and scandal that they're, even speaking to each other, but they're actually like falling in love. Yeah. And I really, really liked it. I really liked the characters a lot. And I liked a lot of the historical stuff that it goes into as well. And I like the fact that, the vampire is so old and he's talking about like he knew Shakespeare, because he's a vampire. He doesn't die. So it was pretty interesting. I really, really liked that book a lot, and I'm excited to read the rest of that series. Okay, so let's talk about another series that does have vampires in it, and those are kind of the main creatures, but there are also shapeshifters and werewolves in this one as well, and that is the Sookie Stackhouse series by Charlaine Harris. These books are so much fun. This book series is what the TV show True Blood was based on, if you watch that on HBO. I read the books and watched the show as well, and I liked both, but they are different. So you could really tell, like when I was watching the show and things were happening and it was like, wait, nope, that's not right. but I'm not mad about it. Am I? I don't know if I'm mad about it. So the show definitely took some liberties for sure, but both were very good. So I kind of had to try my hardest to separate them. But the books are very good. They are very quick to read. They're fun. They're sometimes funny. I really liked all the characters, and they're just a good time. It's a good time for these. These are also fairly steamy. They're fairly steamy. Not the worst thing I've ever read as far as, that kind of content goes, but they're adult. And yeah, it's a good time. Okay, can we talk about Harry Potter? Because Harry Potter does not have vampires, but it has witches, obviously, and wizards, obviously. It's got werewolves. It also has trolls and goblins and ghosts everywhere and just all sorts of fun things. There's all sorts of fun creatures in Harry Potter. Human-sized spiders who like to talk to you and try to eat your face off. Those are a thing. I would venture to say that when you think about Harry Potter, you don't think about werewolves. Or when someone asks you for a good werewolf book, you're not going to say Harry Potter because they're not the main focus of the book, but they're definitely in there and they play some key roles. Okay, so the last category I want to talk about is zombies. And the funny thing about this is that I have not read a zombie book before. I've read the first compendium of the Walking Dead comic books, and that's it. That's what I've read for zombies. I've never read a full-length novel that is like a zombie book at all. So, didn't really have a lot to recommend you, but I do have 4 books on my shelves that have zombies in them, and I want to read them. So we'll talk about these real quick. I can just show you what's on my shelf, what's on my radar for zombies. The first one is The Girl with All the Gifts, and this is by M.R. Carey. And I did not know that this was a zombie book when I bought it. I had just heard about it and heard it was really good, and everyone was recommending it all over the place, but no one said the word zombie until someone told me in the comments that they heard that it was a zombie book and that it made them uninterested. And I was like, oh no, that makes me more interested now. So it had the opposite effect for me than it did for the woman who made that comment, but it was kind of funny. I was like, oh, now I'm more interested. Thanks. So yeah, but this one. I also have Rot and Ruin. This is by Jonathan Mayberry. This is the first book in this series, and I know that it is a zombie book, but I don't really know like the premise of it other than that. But I grabbed it at Goodwill one day because I had heard about Jonathan Mayberry as an author. I've heard that the Patient Zero series is really good. Don't have that one yet either, but it's on my wish list. But yeah, so got this one. And then one that I did not know was a zombie book and I hadn't heard about it, but Lindsay told me about it, and that is Red Hill by Jamie McGuire. Jamie McGuire is actually known for her romance books, but this is a zombie book, and Lindsay loved it. And if Lindsay loved it, I'm probably going to love it too. So yeah. And then the last one I have is one that I picked up at a thrift shop actually, and I did not know that this was a zombie book, but I picked it up and it looked really interesting, just based on the cover, let's be real. And it was like 25 cents, so why not? And then when I was checking out, the girl at the checkout counter had read it and she said it was really good. She said, this is a really good book. But that is Let Me In by John Lindquist. This one, I believe, is translated. He's from Sweden. And it has another title. I think it's Let All the Right Ones In, maybe, is the other title for this one. And then when they publish it over here, it says Let Me In. But yeah, this is supposed to be a zombie book as well. So I think I'm pretty positive. Is it zombies or vampires? Now I'm seeing like it's a must read for vampire fans. Maybe these are vampires. You guys let me know. If you've read this book, is this zombies or vampires? You tell me, because I don't know now, because it's not really saying anything back here as far as what it is. But there is something that has the word vampire in it, but it's like a blurb instead of the actual description of the book. So yeah, let me know. You guys let me know. Educate me. Okay, guys, those are the books I wanted to talk about today that have kind of all the crazy, paranormal, creepy creatures that we tend to love this time of year. So let me know down below if you guys have any recommendations that fit any of these as well, that have creatures in them that are kind of creepy and crawly and gross and scary. Let me know down below what some of your favorites have been. Make sure you go check out Lindsey today too and see what she's talking about. I'm really interested to see what she has to say about this one too. And we will see you guys again soon. Have a great day.